A massive, silver-gray wolf, twice the size of any natural predator, walks calmly toward a family standing by their trailer. The father fires a .357 Magnum point-blank into its chest. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3. The animal doesn't flinch. It simply drops the calf it was holding, looks the man in the eyes with a chilling, intelligent indifference, and walks away into the brush. When the family tracks its paw prints, the trail stops abruptly in the middle of a clearing, as if the beast had simply evaporated into thin air. This is the threshold of Skinwalker Ranch, a 500-acre patch of dirt in Utah's Uinta Basin where the laws of physics appear to be merely suggestions. For decades, this land has been the epicenter of a reality-bending phenomenon that defies every branch of a modern science. It is a place where cattle are found surgically hollowed out without a single drop of biological evidence on the ground, where invisible objects cast shadows on the dirt, and where high-ranking government officials have witnessed events that force them to rewrite their understanding of the universe. This isn't just a localized myth. Researchers believe it may be a permanent rift in the fabric of our dimension. The history of the ranch is steeped in a darkness that predates modern settlers. The local Ute tribe has avoided this specific stretch of land for generations, calling it the Path of the Skinwalker. In their tradition, a skinwalker is a shape-shifting presence, a malevolent entity that exists between the folds of the physical world. They warned that the land was forbidden, a zone where no one should live. But in the mid-90s, the Sherman family moved in. Unaware, they were about to become the subjects of a terrifying, large-scale observation conducted by an intelligence they could not perceive. Within weeks of moving in, the Shermans realized they were not alone. Furniture would be rearranged while they were in the next room. Heavy footsteps paced the hallways at night. But the most disturbing events happened outside in the pastures. They began losing cattle in ways that defied logic. One afternoon, the family witnessed a metallic, circular craft hovering silently over their livestock. A few hours later, one of their prize bulls was found inside a metal shipping container that had been securely locked from the outside. The bull was alive but in a state of catatonic shock, squeezed into a space far too small for its body. There were no tracks leading to the container, and no signs of how a 1,000-pound animal could be lifted and placed inside a padlocked box without a sound. The tension escalated when the family's 3 dogs chased a flickering blue orb into the woods. The family heard the dogs bark, followed by 3 sharp sounds of distress, and then a deafening silence. When they went to find them the next morning, all that remained were 3 scorched circles of grass. In the center of each circle was a small pile of dark, greasy residue. The animals hadn't just been attacked, they had been molecularly disassembled. This wasn't the work of a predator or a trespasser. It was a display of technological power that treated living beings as disposable test subjects. News of these anomalies eventually reached Robert Bigelow, a billionaire aerospace mogul with deep ties to the intelligence community. Bigelow didn't just want to study the ranch, he wanted to own it. He bought the property and deployed a team of elite scientists, physicists, and former intelligence officers. They turned the ranch into a high-tech fortress, bristling with cameras, sensors, and radiation detectors. What they captured over the next decade remains some of the most classified and controversial data in the history of anomalous research. The scientists quickly learned that the phenomenon at Skinwalker Ranch was reactive. It seemed to know when they were watching. If they set up a camera to monitor a specific field, the activity would happen just out of frame. If they secured a perimeter, the breach would occur behind them. One researcher reported watching a dark, shimmering void open up in the night sky. Through his night vision goggles, he saw a large, humanoid figure crawl out of the hole and drop to the ground before sprinting off into the darkness. When he rushed to the spot, there were no tracks, but the radiation levels were significantly higher than the surrounding area. This led to the theory that the ranch sits atop a natural or artificial portal, a thin spot in the membrane between our world and another. The Pentagon's secret programs took a keen interest in these findings. They weren't looking for folklore. They were looking for a breakthrough in propulsion and space-time manipulation. The data suggested that whatever was operating at the ranch had the ability to warp gravity, manipulate human perception, and traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye. One of the most disturbing aspects documented by the research teams is what they call the Hitchhiker Effect. This is the idea that the ranch isn't just a location you visit. It's something that attaches itself to you. Scientists and security guards who spent time on the property reported that when they returned home, hundreds of miles away, the anomalies followed them. Their families would see shadowy figures in their bedrooms, their electronics would malfunction, and their homes would be plagued by the same blue orbs seen in the Utah desert. It is as if the ranch marks your biological signature, allowing whatever resides there to track you anywhere.
Drone 7 is green for launch.
Under
Confirmed.
more recent
Launching
ownership,
now.
the
Trajectory
investigation
looks
has moved into the digital
Map
age,
data stabilizing on sector.
using ground-penetrating radar and sophisticated rockets to probe the atmosphere. The team discovered a persistent anomaly exactly 5,000 feet above the ranch. This hot spot reflects radio waves and causes GPS systems to malfunction wildly. When they fired rockets into this specific coordinate, instruments recorded a 1.6 gigahertz signal, a frequency often associated with deep space communication or high-level jamming technology. Each time this signal appears, the phenomenon manifests on the ground. In one documented instance, a member of the team suffered a sudden traumatic internal injury while standing near a specific ridge on the property. He hadn't been hit by anything, but his medical scans showed symptoms identical to a high-energy microwave burst. This wasn't an accident. It appeared to be a targeted, non-lethal deterrent. The ranch seems to have a defensive mechanism, a way of pushing back against those who try to peel back its layers. It allows you to see just enough to be unsettled, but never enough to understand. The physical evidence left behind is often more confusing than the events themselves. Researchers have found strange metallic fibers embedded in the soil that don't match any known commercial alloy. They've recorded audio of voices speaking in languages that linguists cannot identify, sounding as if they are being broadcast from the air itself. Perhaps most chillingly, they've documented the cattle phenomenon with surgical precision. These aren't the jagged tears of a wild animal. These are clean, cauterized incisions made with a heat source that exceeds the capabilities of a portable surgical laser. Vital parts are removed through small openings, and the surrounding tissue is left completely sterile, devoid of bacteria or even common insects. Is it possible that we are looking at a laboratory? Not a human one, but a place where an advanced intelligence is monitoring the biological and psychological limits of our species. Some suggest the ranch is a crossroads, a cosmic highway where different entities pass through our reality. Others believe it is a sentient environment, a land that is itself alive and capable of projecting illusions based on the fears of those who walk upon it. This would explain why different people see different things. Some see craft in the sky, others see ancient spirits, and others see creatures from folklore. The scientific community remains divided. Traditionalists argue that these events are the result of rare natural phenomena,
Alert confirmed.
perhaps
Designating
localized
target
magnetic
coordinates for immediate
fields
engagement.
causing
We are
sensory
green for
disturbances
launch.
or secret testing. But those who have stood on the red rocks of the Uinta Basin at 3 a.m, watching a light that shouldn't exist move with intelligent intent, have a different perspective. Natural gas or drones don't follow you home and disturb your children. They don't lift heavy livestock into the sky and return them with surgical alterations. As we continue to launch satellites and look toward the stars for signs of other life, we may be ignoring the possibility that they are already here, tucked away in the desolate corners of our own world. Skinwalker Ranch serves as a humbling reminder of the limits of human knowledge. We have mapped the globe and split the atom, yet we cannot explain 500 acres of desert in our own backyard. The mystery of the ranch isn't just about what is happening there. It's about what it says about our place in the universe. If there are indeed portals, if there are beings that can step through the air like a man walking through a doorway, then our reality is much more fragile than we care to admit. We are like ants on a sidewalk, unaware of the complex world moving all around us, until a shadow falls over the nest. Whatever the truth is, the activity at the ranch shows no signs of stopping. Every year, the technology used to monitor the land gets better, and every year the phenomenon finds a new way to evade it. It is a cat and mouse game where the mouse has the sensors and the cat has the ability to fold space and time. We may never get the answers we seek, because the intelligence behind Skinwalker Ranch isn't interested in being discovered. It is interested in watching us. And as long as we keep looking into the dark, something from the dark will keep looking back. Skinwalker Ranch doesn't just show you the impossible. It marks you, it follows you home. And whatever is there, it is not finished watching. Some places on Earth aren't just haunted, they are gateways. And this one remains wide open.